everyone. I'm going to start off tonight with a question. What makes you feel at peace? What makes you feel at peace? Not everybody at once now. Yes. Meditation helps you feel at peace. Gratitude helps you feel at peace. Nature helps you feel at peace. Peace around you. Okay, so I'm going to get you. You're going to answer the next question. What if I were to tell you that the word for peace in Hebrew was shalom? Would anybody in this room know that? Maybe a couple of us. What if I were also to tell you that the root of that word, shalom, actually also means wholeness or completeness? So let's change our frame of mind for a moment. What makes you whole or feel whole and complete? You don't know? Yes. Your family. It's okay. Music. I love that. Music can help you feel whole and complete. Yes. Being at Shabbat. There are a lot of things in this world that can help us feel at peace and help us feel whole and complete. They are actually one and the same. And this week's Torah portion, it's called Naso, is actually a very popular, very famous part in there called the priestly benediction. And it's called the threefold benediction also because there are three different lines. So threefold. And it basically says, you may have heard it before, may the Lord bless and protect you. May the light of God shine down upon you and be gracious to you. And may God's countenance lift up your face to give you a life of shalom. And so it's that very end piece that I want to focus on today. Shalom, this blessing, right? This blessing that God gives to us, either from God directly or through one of us blessing one another. And it reminds me of a story. It's a story about a young person who lives in the ancient Jewish town of Woodbridge, right? Remember this? You've heard this one before. You've heard this one before because they all live in Woodbridge. So, oh, yes. Okay, so in the ancient town of Woodbridge, he wore a coat because you know how incredibly cold it gets in Woodbridge, right? So, thank you. He's walking down the street, and he walked to and from wherever he went, to school, to work, everywhere, in this coat every day. And then he noticed that there was a thread that was kind of hanging down. So what does he do? What do you do when a thread is coming off of your clothing? You pull it and you yank it, right? And so he pulled a little too hard and the coat started to fall apart. Day after day he tried to do this and the coat was falling apart. And so he cried. He was so angry. He goes, I don't know what I've done. I love this coat so much. And then somebody stops him on the street and goes, what's wrong? What's wrong? My favorite coat is falling apart. You see it? Well, why don't you pull a little harder? Well, why would you do that? Trust me, there's something in it that you may not see right now. So he keeps doing it, and all of a sudden, the arms fall off of the coat. Well, now look what you did. The man says, well, look what you have on. You have a beautiful new vest. A new vest. And so what does he do? He goes to and from work and he's strutting around in his vest. And all is good and all is great until what happens? There's another thread. That's right. And he begins to pull it and he doesn't know what to do. And it's just bad news all around. He starts crying and the same person comes up to him. What is wrong? Well, now you see the thread. Same thing. Pull the thread. See what happens. And all of a sudden, He had a beautiful tie. And it was brand new and it was gorgeous. I'm so happy. This is such a blessing. How wonderful. And so continues, and he's wearing a tie every single day. I mean, it must be pretty tough, right? Very important. And so then all of a sudden, what happens to the tie? There's a thread. That's exactly right. Well, he knew what to do. He took the thread and it turned into a small, tiny piece of fabric. And you know what he made out of that fabric? A button. And he bought a brand new coat and put that button directly on the coat for all to see. What's interesting about this story? Well, it tells us that there are actually blessings all around us, even when we don't fully believe there's a blessing that is present. Because life can be a little chaotic. We can feel anxious. We can feel scared sometimes. We can even feel angry sometimes. But in reality, there's a way out of those feelings. There is a blessing that can help us feel a sense of peace, shalom, and a sense of wholeness, just like this young person did when he saw the button on his coat. So my friends, if life isn't going exactly the way you want it to in a particular moment, maybe you're asking for a particular toy that you really want, and maybe your parents or grandparents or any adult is just saying, not today. Maybe something happened in school and you weren't exactly happy with that situation. Guess what? There is always a blessing that you can take out of it, right? Think of that button in everything that you do. And maybe, just maybe, every day, you too can feel that sense of wholeness and completeness, just as God blesses us in the threefold benediction. That is the blessing. Shabbat shalom.